So guys, welcome back to Bleed Norwich YouTube channel with me, Alex, and
me, Doeke. Hello, everyone. This is strange. We're not on different screens this time.
No.
We're all in person.
it's an in-person one this time, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we've got Portsmouth home tomorrow when we're filming this, but obviously this is going to be out Sunday. So before Mill away. So we can't really talk too much on what we're previewing for those two games. I think it's more or less what the
What's been happening and what's
going to go on over the summer. It's going to be we know we don't.
Interesting one.
It's going to be busy as well. I think.
Busy.
Yeah.
Lots of ins, lots of outs.
Yeah, I think we're expecting that. The news I've read so far today is that I don't think Sorensen, Gunn, there's one other, Hernandez.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they're not going to be offered new contracts. They are going to be let go by the club.
They'll be free agents in the summer.
Yeah, what do you think of those three players going? Do you think that's the correct decision on all three?
Well, Gunn, yes, he's been a bit hit and miss this season. Potentially could have offered him a new one, but because of our backup, what we got in Long
and Reyes as well.
And Reyes,
great.
We need to kind of like bring someone in the transfer window for that position, I feel.
Yeah, I think we need a number one, and I don't think Gunn's going to be happy being number two. So
no,
I think and he's on Premier League money. So when we signed him, he was in
Southampton.
We signed him in the Premier League as well. So it was never really gonna. Yeah, it was always a Premier League signing, and he wants number one. He wants the number one spot. He's not going to get that next season. I don't think he's not the right type of goalkeeper for this sort of project that we're on at the minute.
No.
But yeah, he's the only one that I can sort of see an argument for wanting him to sign a new contract.
It's just that experience, I suppose, and also with our backups, we haven't.
There's
Long isn't up to standard nowhere near.
Neither is Reyes.
Neither is Reyes currently.
So yeah, it's realistically, I think if Gunn goes, we're probably going to need two goalkeepers. If I'm honest, I think if Long's back up again, and
Long's contract's till 27, I think.
Yeah, 26 or 27. But yeah, we've still got a couple of years of
him.
But I think Hernandez and Sorensen, absolutely,
Hernandez is kind of run his time now.
He has.
And he's kind of getting on the wrong side of the manager and things, but hopefully it gets resolved.
Yeah, no, that's true. What do you make of the whole sort of footballers taking to social media and going on YouTube and stuff? Obviously, we saw Ben Foster really sort of kick it off, and
some kind of are okay with it, and then some just take it too far.
Yeah.
And go over the top.
Yeah, there's some sort of, I think, a level.
Some are more level-headed with it.
Yeah, and actually sort of, I guess, take more care and are a bit more, I guess, sensitive with the content they produced. Obviously, Hernandez was sort of very insensitive with the Plymouth vlog he put out in terms of, showing that they travelled by plane and the fancy hotels and this, that and the other. When we lost 2-1 to bottom of the league, and fans that travelled on fucking Club Canary coaches, and we know what shit they are.
And then the comments that were left underneath it, and him liking them. I don't know whether he was liking them intentionally or whether he was just liking every comment on the video, but it's not seeming good light. No,
exactly, and I think that's another issue, it's very, very silly of him to do so. Jakob Sorensen is obviously the next player that's seeming to go out of contract, and
which
is not getting renewed.
Surprising because
Hansen
loves him.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of faith in Sorensen. The thing is, I do understand. Sorensen is a versatile player.
Yeah.
Can play a lot of position. When he first came into the club, he covered Xavi Quintia at left back when he got injured, which feels like a lifetime ago now. And then obviously he played centre half for a bit as well when we've had centre halves drop out injured. And obviously traditionally he's a defensive midfielder. And what's really surprising for me is that in all those three positions, his worst is as a defensive midfielder. He's always performed best for me when he's been at left back or as a centre half. I remember we had Man United at home a couple of seasons ago, last time in the Premier League, and Ronaldo scored a penalty, but Sorensen, that game at centre half, he filled in and he done a brilliant job. And at left back for that sort of when he came in, he sort of filled the hole and was very good with that. So, but in midfield, it was always sort of sideways,
grab football.
Yeah, it was grab football, wasn't it? Just sort of didn't have that sort of. Obviously, I saw this in Jacob Wright's interview recently when he done the player signing session, and he spoke about how defensive midfielders should be able to start attacks as well. I've never seen Jakob Sorensen start an attack. Yeah, which is So we've spoken about 3 outs that are sort of more definitely happening. In terms of ins, Jacob Wright is the must.
And I can see it. I'm 99% sure it will happen.
Yeah, I think he wants it to happen. Johannes Forrest wants it to happen. We've got an option to buy in the contract. He's proving himself as well.
And the option to buy is only 4 million.
I thought it was 2.3.
I think it went up to 4. I don't know. It might have been 2.3, but
even if it's 4 million, I think that's still. He's 19 years old, a out and out centre defensive midfielder,
and he's
showing as well. Obviously, when he got thrown in the deep end, was it Derby or Preston?
Preston at home when McLean.
No, I think it was Derby. Was it not Derby?
No, it was Preston. Pretty sure it was Preston.
I think
it was Preston because Preston went and scored from that Borgia Signs.
No, he started. Yeah, but Derby was the game before. It was one of them 2 games. But
I think it was that Preston game because he got 10 minutes before kick-off thrown in the deep end when McLean went off with stomach problems or whatever he had.
It was one of those games. Points argued. But he had a tough start.
Yeah,
he
didn't really expect to start.
Yeah, but I think since then he's really grown into that role, and he's been one of our most important players, and he's just a great addition, and he's really proved himself. And I think, obviously, in terms of the January signs, we're hoping for them to help us push for promotion, but most of them, I think, were brought in long term. Jacob Wright definitely being one of them, and I think it's a clever deal from Napa to sort of get him on loan, see what he is about, because he is only 19. He could turn out to be horrific and end up playing for Fleetwood Town, but he's not. He's very good at this level, and he's a must sign in the summer. Obviously, he wants to stay.
He wants to stay.
Yeah, so Forrest wants to stay.
It's a no-brainer.
The option's there, so I think we kind of have to take
I think the fact that we've been given the option initially plays into our hand as well.
Yeah, we've got the ball's in our court, and I think if the ball's in our court, we should definitely
go for it.
Have to go for it. Absolutely. Obviously, in terms of other loans, Callum Doyle
probably won't see him again, but
which is a shame.
We might see him again this season, but we won't see him again next season. I think he's
back. Is he on the bench this weekend, or is it Millwall?
He's on the bench this weekend.
Tomorrow.
So,
God, tomorrow morning I'm gonna. Just about 14 hours time, I'll be sinking my first beer. I haven't been to Cairo since Boxing Day, so if you do see me tomorrow, you haven't. All right, I might have had quite a few beers. Like Callum Doyle, I think if Man City come to us, say, right, you can have him for another season on loan because he loves it there, he's playing well, and then there's a 15 million obligation to buy. If you get promoted that season, will you take it?
Definitely.
Absolutely. And I just don't think Callum Doyle deserves another championship loan.
No.
If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. He's
got to play a final at Coventry. Yeah, he's play a final at Coventry. Won the title at Leicester. Granted, didn't play loads because of injury at Leicester, but when he did play, he impressed. He's been a standout defender in what's been an awful defence in the Norwich side. He's got a lot of assists this season. I think he's like 7
or 8 assists from
centre half left back. 1 goal. He scored a screamer against Watford at the start of the season, didn't he? So yeah, he's been impressive, and obviously as Norwich fans,
so he's got good distribution as well.
Yeah, exactly. Plays with his feet. He's exactly what we're looking for. Ball playing centre halves. So yeah, that option is there. I'd love
We're going to have to go for it,
I think. But in terms of other incomings that we had in January, I just want to touch on those. You spoke about Jake and Wright. We spoke about loanees. We'll talk about a bit about the permanent signs we made in the summer. Obviously, we turned Anis Ben Slimani into a permanent deal.
Ever since we've turned him into permanent,
he's not been as good
as what he was.
I feel like he was really trying to prove a point when he was alone. He proved that point, and since then I'll tell you what. I think in recent weeks he's been a bit better.
Yeah.
I think he's been a bit better. There's been games where he has ghosted in and out of, but I think he is a clever player. He's good with his feet. I still don't know what his best position is. I don't know if he plays a bit of a deeper role, he's better there. If he plays as an 8, he's better there, or a 10.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really solid squad player to have in the Championship. I think we've done well to pick him up for $2 million.
$2 million still, really.
Yeah, he's a player of good quality, and I think we'll see it more next season. This season, as much as fans hate the sort of wording behind it, it is a transition season. But that isn't to say that's a reason for not getting promoted.
It's not a reason for dropping that low.
No, you can get promoted in your transition season.
Oh yeah.
Like, look at Liverpool. They've just had Arne Slot come in, a whole new fucking system. They're winning the league. And they're still transitioning.
Yeah.
That's the whole. The argument is that is a transition season. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean you perform below standards, and it's not a reason to perform below standards.
Yeah.
Which we have done. But
which in the press conference today, he said if you ask Hoff the same question in 5 years' time and they're 13th in the Championship, then it's failing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's not failing yet, but it's just not as positive as what I'd like it to be.
No.
And I think it will be positive next season. But yeah, anyway, we touched on Ben Slimani, Rory McConville, again, another player who I think was thrown in the deep end a bit.
Yeah.
But there were some bright sparks.
Yeah. And
the one moment for me that really stood out when we talk of ball playing defenders, which is what we want to look for, which sort of fits what Johannes Forum and Ben Napper are looking for. We saw one beautiful moment of that, and it's where that ball he played through for Borja Sainz in the first half against Burnley.
Yeah.
Sainz should have scored.
Sainz.
It was a beauty of a pass from McConville, and he again young first start in the Championship. I think his first professional start. Full stop. He didn't start for Brighton. No. So yeah, look, positives there. And Matt Jurasek. God.
Where do we start with him?
I just want to see him. I just really want to see him. Just please. I think we've spoken enough about that situation, haven't we, online and stuff. And, our thoughts on it. I think the whole sort of thing has been handled very poorly by the club. And you know what? I think what really just sort of I lost my head over was the fact that we sent coaches out to Prague.
Yeah,
to train him, make sure he's
ready
to come into the squad. And the fact we've seen 82 minutes,
and the fact 3 months later that he's fatigued,
not finishing training.
From whatever reason it is.
But I just hope we see a bit more of him before the end of the season. And again, we always knew that was going to be a long-term signing, but it would have been nice to see him.
It would have been nice to see him for the season. And
there's one other player that I did forget that was on loan in January, and there's a player that we could be starting permanently, Lewis Dobbin.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
Considering he'd done his rehab here, kind of reading into it a bit too much, probably.
Maybe. But, I mean, we're seeing Canary Jerry.
He's
been tweeting a lot about them, about the old maybe a permanent deal. I'd love it. I don't think it'd be permanent. I think it'd be another loan. And I think Lewis Dobbin really had a good time here when he was playing. Scored a couple of goals.
Yeah. Really
found his feet. And
then got knocked down with an injury.
Yeah,
which is a bit.
It's a horrible injury to get. I remember just watching that game and seeing him pull up against Blackburn. I think you knew as soon as he pulled up that sort of muscle say, that's it done. That's him out. But fingers crossed, Lewis Dobbin, if you are watching this, sign the fucking thing, mate. Join the club and help us get promoted next season. Cheers, buddy. He'll not be watching this.
Weekly watcher, isn't he?
Oh yeah, biggest fan. See you tomorrow, Lewis, mate. Yeah. But yeah, so I think those are we touched on a bit of the January deals we've made, and they do all sort of seem long term. I think, bearing in mind if we do get Dobbin in for another season,
that would be
fingers crossed. But they all seem long term signings, which is positive. And there's been a lot. I think with Norwich, there's been a lot of positives off the field more than on it.
Yeah.
On it, it's been very disappointing defensively. Obviously, leaked too many goals, lost points from winning positions on way too many occasions. And that does need to change.
I think we're nearly into like 30 points from.
I think it's 30. Yeah, 30
positions.
points. So that is an issue that needs to be ironed out. And I don't know where we start. I think, but the thing is, I think this summer is so big in terms of
what we do next.
It's not about signing. It is about signing players and signing the right players.
The right players for
for the system. I think Shane Duffy needs to go. He's just. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with him anymore. He just. No thanks. I think Kenny's probably off as well.
Kenny, probably won't be.
Some signs and signs are looking probably likely they're going to go.
Yeah, although, Sargent said that he's got to find the right thing for him, but his contract is till 28, is it?
I think so. I don't know. I should look up contracts for the podcast.
I think it's still 28.
He did sign a new one last season. That's what I know.
So that possibly could put his price up if he is to leave.
Yeah, which I think he's a £20 million player. As it is. Science could leave. Nunes could leave.
Everton had interest in Nunes during the season, so
we are.
I can't remember how much we paid.
There's gonna be a huge sort of turnover in
definitely. There'll be a lot of switching about.
Yeah, and that's fine. We just got to make sure we bring.
Obviously, players coming back from loans.
Yeah, Brad Hills.
Brad Hills, Manny Adebayo.
Yeah, Adebayo's had a decent loan. Where was it? He was
Dundee
United. Yeah.
And all the Dundee United fans, most of them love him.
Yeah, and I watched a bit of the Scottish Premier League season, and he has performed. He has been very decent. I did see him get a red card though at one point. So
he scored a few goals for Dundee United as well.
All from corners, which we have. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've only scored 3 this season from corners, 3 goals this season.
Possibly, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
2 of them were against the same club.
Yeah.
Burnley.
Yeah.
Which are Vegas.
Burnley.
Absolutely.
And we're the only club to score 2 against Burnley in this season.
And we've been shit this season, alright, everyone. We've been fucking awful at times. And it's been a dire watch at points. Has any other team scored 2 against Burnley? No. Stick that on the fucking badge. Get that on the honours list.
And they're both defenders.
And they're both, Cordoba and Jack Stacey. We're Premier League ready. But we, like you say, we need to bring in players that fit the system, and I think we also need to tweak the system massively, where we're not allowing ourselves to be in a position to concede so many goals and make so many sloppy errors.
Yeah.
And
I mean, is it 58 goals conceded this season?
It's too much. It's a ridiculous amount. Give ourselves the upper hand in games that way, where we do score. We're hard to beat when we score, and we're quick to attack again.
I think when we score first, we just kind of sit back and think, okay, we've scored.
I don't know if that's a mentality thing or a tactical thing, because I don't think Johannes Forrest loves scoring goals, because we score a fuck ton of them. But it does seem like
we're one of the top scoring teams in the league.
I think we're the second or third top goal scoring team.
Second or third. Yeah. I think it's Leeds and Burnley are above us. Burnley haven't even scored as much.
I think maybe Middlesbrough might be the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, we score a lot of goals. So where's that issue come from that we drop so many points from winning positions? Because we do score, but it's just like you say,
just drop off and
it's so hard to put a finger on it, which is the issue, and it's an issue that Johannes Forrest does need to sort out over the summer. and the rest of the coaching
needs to like batten down.
Yeah,
and make sure it doesn't happen again next season.
Yeah, and then just building it from there. Obviously, we might lose a fair few players over the summer, which again, like I said, is going to be a massive issue. I hope we don't. I think just imagine this, yeah, theoretically, very theoretically, Sargent. I'll say for 2030, please, mate. Ball has signs. I promise never to be bad at discipline or whatever, and I will sign a new contract for 2030. Johnny Rowe, I'm so sorry for what I've done. I will come back.
That's another one that's been going
sign a new contract. Then you've got front three there, and then you've got Siernas to come on for Sarge. You've got Jurasek to come on for Rowe. Yeah. You've got Dobbin to come on the left wing. Oh, look at that.
It's just, I think you're in dreamland, mate.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a dream, mate. There's a dream.
But we'll see.
Yeah, well, look, you can hope, because there's not a lot of that going around with it, as Norwich City fans.
No.
But previewing for the rest of the season, what do we want to see?
Well, more positives, I suppose.
Jacob Wright. Yeah.
Jacob Wright.
I want to see Andy Siernas back. I want to see him scoring goals again.
Siernas, yeah.
Do you know what? I think second half of the season for Siernas, he's been fucking brilliant. He's been fucking brilliant, and I'm a big fan of his. And I think he will come good next season, and I think he will be brilliant. And if Sarge does leave, I think we've got an understudy there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I'm more than happy to see that. Oscar Schwartau, 18 years old.
He's
still playing well.
He gets stick, but he gets
stick, but he's 18 years old.
He's 18 years old, and he's developing into a good player.
When he has played well in games, he's been really good. He's tidy with his feet, and I think next season be a big season for him. He's had that first season under his belt. Build on that. So you got him coming through. Yeah, there is positives there. You've got Jose Cordoba. Granted, he's not been great.
He's not the best.
But he's had a first season under the belt. He'll get better.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. A lot of these players, their first season in England,
in English football as well,
where they are having to adapt and get better, and they will. And next season they'll find their feet a little bit more. A man called Forson, another one.
Forson, he's been a bit unlucky with what.
Yeah, do you know what? He started the season so well as well.
Yeah.
I remember his assist against Sheffield United right at the start of the season, and I thought, we'll pick ourselves up a player here. But
I know it's only a training video, but his one he put on his Instagram this morning.
I didn't see
story.
Was it good?
Free kick, literally tail straight into the top corner.
All right, Nunes, you can fuck off now. I'm joking, please don't. If he does see this, please don't. But yeah, no. Well, we haven't scored from a free kick yet this season. I don't think direct. That is. Wait.
I think Nunes might have scored one. I don't know.
I think he has.
I don't know. I can't.
I know last season he scored a fair few. Gabby Sarah scored. And
Nunes
scored.
Yeah.
Well, Nunes scored that synonymous one against Scum.
Yeah.
Oh God, that felt good. And that's another thing we get next season. The East Anglian Derby. I don't want it, mate. I really don't.
Yeah, I think it could.
It could. It might be. We could get. Well, you know what? We said that last time because we know we weren't that great, and obviously
they were on such a high as well last season.
They were playing really well. We went to their place. We were at our worst. Sarge was out. We played Barnes and Eder up top together.
Yeah.
And they were on the form of their life, second in the league.
Come away with a draw.
That felt like a win. It felt like a win. And then obviously the home game was unbelievable.
The home game.
It's unbelievable. Because at that point we were
at that point they were.
We were also high flying at that point. At home we were a different force to be reckoned with. They didn't even lay a glove on us.
No.
And that's what. 1-0 is such a. The 1-0 scoreline doesn't tell the full story of that game because we did batter, and Jack Stacey had Leif Davis in his back pocket. Brilliant. Yeah. And Leif Davis has been in everyone's back pocket in the Premier League this season. So you boys in blue, it's a big jump, isn't it? It's a big jump to the Premier League. You aren't going to finish 7th in your first season. Kieran McKenna is not the Messiah. He's just another washed Daniel Farker. Alright? He's, he might get picked up by Bayern Munich if his name is Kiranio McKenna, but he's not.
Yeah.
So, see you next season. But yeah, lesson than twats down the road, eh? I think we've covered pretty much everything. season's not been great. There's been moments.
There's been moments.
But the issue is there's been a lot more bad moments than good moments, and that needs to change for next season.
It needs to change for next season.
Injuries, big crisis this season.
Big. I don't know what's been going on in training or what's been going on, but
bad luck. I mean,
is it the Jack Wilshere curse?
Someone's walked underneath a ladder. Someone's walked over 3 drains. Something like that.
I mean, we have got Jack Wilshere on the coaching staff now, so
yeah, he does.
Injury prone.
Injury prone. Yeah, does make that score a good team goal though, doesn't he?
Less than that.
Yeah. I bet he's showing videos around that training ground every day.
This is what I want you to do.
That's it. Walk it into the net. No, you can score a screamer. Score a screamer. Yeah, there's positives and negatives like every season, but the issue is there's more negatives than positives. And I think we just need to just adapt. I think this is the issue. Johannes Forup is new.
Yeah.
Ben Napper is new to this role still.
Yeah.
A lot of the players are new to English football.
Yeah.
A lot of them are young.
Very young. Very young.
It's all about adapting, and I think that will come. They'll adapt. They'll get better. And yeah. Anyway, we've got some questions, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got some questions. Yes. Oh God, let's get into it.
There's a couple of questions that have been on the Instagram.
This is what I look forward to, answering your guys' questions and what other stuff we've got to say. But some of them are going to be crazy questions.
So starting off from Jasper NCFC, who is your favourite signing this season?
Oh, I don't know, your recency bias to say Jacob Wright. I mean, we've signed a lot of players, haven't we? But a lot of them have been kind of poor. My favourite signing this season.
That's a tough one, man.
That is.
So many have performed but underperformed.
I think just because I've always backed his corner and I always fight for his case, anti-Cianats. I just really like what he's about. I know he's had a tough start, but yeah, I'm a big anti-Cianats fan. I'm going to go anti-Cianats. What about you?
I know it's not permanent, but probably Doyle.
Yeah, Doyle. I was torn between Doyle, Wright, and Cianats.
Yeah, I know it's not a permanent start.
There's going to be one that we've missed that's played really
what he's done.
Marcondes.
Marcondes is.
I have to change I think Marcondes. I'm a huge fan of Emmy Marcondes. I love his energy. I love what he brings to the side. He's experienced.
You can tell when he's in the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We play so much better. We play so much better with him. I remember he came on against Blackburn, and obviously growing up we did end up drawing that game. But instantly he came on, we looked so much better. He got that assist for the Cianats goal. But yeah, I have to go Marcondes.
You always told him in and around the team.
That's it. So. His influence is massive. I think Marcondes for me, just because of that. It's also we picked him up on the free in October, and he's had such a massive impact. Yeah, Marcondes. Completely forgot about that. But yeah, I mean Marcondes for me. Anti-Cianats close second. Next question.
What's your most memorable moment as a Norwich fan?
Who's asked that? News Cianats. If I butchered that, I'm so sorry. My most memorable moment as a Norwich fan. Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley's got to be up there.
Wembley's up there.
Possibly.
I just don't want to say Wembley's such an obvious one.
Yeah. I mean, for what it was, the 18-19 season.
Yeah, I think that whole season. Villa Park in the last game of the season was unbelievable.
That was
Spurs in the FA Cup and penalties. Man City at home.
Yeah.
And then the scum games last season.
It's probably.
I'm going to go Spurs because it was right before lockdown, and throughout the whole of lockdown, that was sort of my last memory of football.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What it was like, and I just sort of held on to that moment till we could go back to football again. And football since then has been fucking awful. So, but yeah, I held on for that moment around lockdown, just something to look forward to. So for most memorable one, I'm going to go with that.
Probably the 18-19 season for me.
Yeah,
is probably the most memorable.
Yeah, I didn't want to say Wembley because that's just such a cop out. Such a cop out. Of course, it's everyone's most memorable moment, but let's pick something a bit different. All right, next question.
Right. What do you think Norwich need to do next year to go up?
Score goals, concede less. Just simple answer. Win football games. Well, I think that most of the podcasts have kind of spoke about what we do need to do for next season. Get rid of the deadwood. Sign some good players, but find that level of experience.
You'll have that balance in the squad as well.
Experience and sort of young prospect, I guess, and a bit of potential and flair and excitement in the squad, and just have that balance and quality.
Miles coming through.
Yeah, sign new contract, big moves. Yeah,
so that's a young player coming through the ranks.
Yeah, but ultimately, like I said, score goals, concede less, win games.
This one's a funny one from Hildery _23. Do you really think Pogba is going to sign for City?
Right, I've heard in the grapevine. He's currently he's in Card Factory in Riverside.
Ooh, Card Factory stuff.
Yeah. So my mate rang me before the podcast. Said, "You never guess he's in Card Factory, mate. He's got a B&M carrier bag. He's just been next door to B&M.
B&M, yeah.
And he was like, it's Paul Pogba.
Into Hobbycraft?
Well, apparently he was going there next. He asked him, what are you doing in Norwich? He's like, no one went Hobbycraft. So,
maybe he's getting creative for next season.
He is, and look, if you go, if we're doing this live and you go to Nando's down Riverside now, you'd see Paul Pogba.
He'd probably be there now.
But no, definitely not signing Paul Pogba.
I think that would just...
Yeah.
His way
Chris Sutton's comment on
everybody.
that is brilliant, because he's given so many fan pages like Leeds Norwich the opportunity to absolutely clickbait shit out of that. Absolutely. Yeah. It's brilliant.
So coming in from Connor W _33, unpopular opinion, but selling signs and sergeants means that we'll finish higher next season.
I can tell you, I'm not from the future, so I can tell you. I see the argument for it, because we sign, especially with science, because he's very individual based and he has that individual quality. And sometimes you do look like a better team when he's not in the starting lineup. Sometimes, very rarely. But he is such a big player and he's such a big influence.
It's going to be a big role to fill as well, I think.
Exactly. I think, yes, if we fill him with the right options and the right players and players that will do better than them, but it's a big if. And it's a very unpopular opinion, I must say. I don't think I'm of that opinion.
No,
I mean, both of them are really...
Take them two out, where will our goal contributions come from?
Callum Doyle.
Well, Callum Doyle's only got 8.
And 8 assists would have probably been the Sons.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, that's the thing.
But the thing is, where are our goals going to come from?
The thing, if we get rid of them, there have to be better replacements. I don't think at this moment in time I can wholeheartedly agree with. We'll be a better team. We'll finish higher. We get rid of Science and Sargent. Not unless we replace them properly with better players. Yeah. But the likelihood of that happening, probably not. No.
No, I was going to say, because between them, both of them are in the top 3 scorers in the league.
Yeah, and then I think in goal contributions, they've probably produced over half of our goals together. So,
if not more.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, this from Gally.st_ is, what's your opinion on Dobbin coming back from loan or either permanently? I think we've touched on that. We've touched on that, and like I say, that I'd absolutely love Lewis Dobbin to come back. I think that's a no-brainer. Yeah. That's it. That's the questions. That's the questions. Cheers guys for getting in your questions. Obviously, we won't be doing these in-person podcasts as frequently. It just happens to be I'm back in Norfolk. Obviously, I live in London and work in football, so it's never possible for me to often get back for the football as much as I'd like. Cheers guys for watching, listening. Just saying that it's a sellout.
What is?
Portsmouth.
We've sold out. Hey.
So Friday's game, if you're watching this on Sunday, was a sellout.
Yeah. There we are. Well, there we go. There's some news for you to finish up on. But yeah, cheers guys for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.